right now. So in one hand, is this going to work? I personally don't think so. They're going to say that it didn't work because there needs to be more money. But also, I think that it's an argument against some of the reparations arguments that are coming from the far left, because I think that in some way, shape, or form, we're already kind of seeing it.
What a great point, Morgan, and I see it as well. And a problem with this, the issue is in part that void for vagueness element, which is, well, how do you then determine who receives it? How do you determine who benefits, right? How much blood is enough to qualify to check the box that this government has set in front of these people?
So I think there's two different arguments that we're discussing here. One is a really important policy debate on how we best help mothers, whether they're in rural areas and they don't have access to care, or they're in urban areas with low access to care. And that's a really important policy debate. I happen to be a big believer in incentivizing the doctors and the nurses and clinicians to improve their care model. But what's really interesting is that the Biden administration, if we look at this from a legal perspective, they had a similar program to aid black farmers. The Washington Post has a very detailed story about it this morning, and it was just struck down in court. Stephen Miller actually challenged that policy. So I actually think, not from a public policy debate on what's the best way to help women, I think we all agree that debate should happen. I think it will have the same fate as the Biden policy on black farmers, which was struck down in court.
Perfect ending. All right, coming up. A man confronts protesters opposing drag story hour at the New York Public Library, and things take a violent turn.
Ethos is changing the life insurance industry, not just with their technology, but with a commitment to making life insurance accessible for everyone. They treat you like a person, not a number.
Thanks to Ethos, our family has the peace of mind knowing that should something terrible happen, our future is secure.
Ethos made getting the policy that's right for our family easy and hassle-free. I couldn't believe how easy it was. I answered a few simple questions, and within minutes, Ethos provided me with a range of policy options and an estimate of what it was going to cost us. No unnecessary doctor's visits, no fine print, no hassle, and no upselling financial products I don't want or need.
Oh, it was simple. I did it all from my phone while I waited in line for coffee.
Life insurance gave us peace of mind.
Take the hassle out of getting life insurance. For your free personalized quote, go to ethoslife.com. That's ETHOS life.com. EthosLife.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, 100,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1758. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS. 5-star rating on Google and Yelp, and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1758. That's 800-575-1758. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This guided meditation is brought to you by Sure Payroll. Begin in a comfortable position. Bring awareness to your breath. Now, imagine all the things you could get done if you weren't worrying about payroll. For as low as $19.99, you can join the tens of thousands of business owners that trust Sure Payroll for fast and accurate payroll processing. Visit SurePayroll.com for a 3-month free trial. Sure Payroll. Small business is our business.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus? You need Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. I mean, 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical, stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4484.
Results may vary.
Streaming on Fox Nation. Don't believe it. These old flames find holiday magic in the most Christmassy place on earth.
You always know how to make me laugh.
Christmas at the Greenbrier. Streaming now exclusively on Fox Nation. Sign up now and get 50% off all yearly plans.
Despite what the White House claims is going on, 1,500 people simply walked across the border from Mexico over the weekend. What's in store when Title 42 ends? We've got the latest from the border, and we'll ask Democratic Congressman Rocada what President Biden needs to do. The terrorist who built the bomb that brought down Pan Am Flight 103 makes his first appearance in a U.S. court today. Are there obstacles to a successful prosecution? The man who helped bring charges against him is here. And more revelations about what Twitter did in the run-up to and the aftermath of the 2020 election. What's in store when Congress holds hearings in January? Senator Ron Johnson weighs in. I'm John Roberts, join Sandra and me at the top of the hour for America Reports.
All right, things got out. Public Library over Drag Story Hour. It's an event that has local drag queens as young as 3 years old. A Manhattan man is seen on camera egging on protesters who carried signs that read, "Leave our kids alone, shut it down," and then it got physical. That's the office of food? He said it like 10 times. Like, don't hit. Was in fact an undercover cop deployed to keep the peace. And that led to an arrest on disorderly conduct, attempted assault, and other charges. Kennedy.
I don't even think that's illegal anymore. Not now. He didn't even get a desk ticket or a slap on the wrist. He got a high five for shoving a cop. But, you know, what is wrong with that guy? I mean, that's a guy who's out there. You know, that's someone who desk ticket or for shoving a cop. But, you know, what is wrong with that guy? I mean, that's a guy who's out there who needs a hobby. You know, that's someone who needs a structured day. To fight with parents who are trying to keep their children. That's what their sign said. Like, save our children. Let them just have a good time.
Morgan, let's talk about the actual parents and their children and the fact that they're holding Drag Queen Hour at a beautiful bookstore. I mean, you can see. So I take it that you are walking your sexuality outside, and that's fine to do. But these are 3-year-olds, and it's not an appropriate venue. It's know your audience.
Hey, listen, it's up to every parent. If you want to take your kid to a drag queen happy hour, if you want to take your kid, would you take your kid to like a Sports Illustrated, right? You know, reading hour. I wouldn't do that either option for my kid. Saying that while the parents who decided to take their kids to the drag queen happy hour have every right to do so,
sure.
So do the parents who are out there with it's unhealthy for children. And that's what we have in America, the ability to have the freedom of choice to do what's best. You know, I remember in D.C. during the height of the Iraq wars and Afghanistan wars when Code Pink house, and I was at the Treasury Department, and my blood would boil because so many of my friends were in Iraq and Afghanistan. I had been to Iraq. I had friends that were killed, and it used to drive me nuts that Code Pink would protest during the height of the wars that my friends are serving in. But it was America, and I had to walk past them and say they have every. And if you don't like what someone's protesting, you don't get to hit cops.
I agreed with you because I always adore you, but I agree with you. I think it's very different to talk about men and women in service of this country and having people than to have people walking out in a way in front of 3-year-olds that now you have to have a discussion that maybe you weren't ready to have. And those parents who have made that decision, I don't know, what do we say to them?
What we say to them is this. So in New York City, these are very far-left liberal parents who think that taking their kids to things like this is the unquote own the conservatives. But I want to make a point about Drag Queen Story Hour and the origins. It seems so Chris Rufo did a very good deep dive into the of Drag Queen Story Hour. This is the work of very far left, radical sort of queer theory people, right? So these far left radicals, the end goal of pedophilia, right? So we cannot look at Drag Queen Story Hour, and I know that this may be a little controversial. We cannot look at Drag Queen Story Hour as anything more than grooming the American public towards normalizing pedophilia among a very, very far left. And Harris, I'm a gay man, and I see it.
So for those parents, though, who do look at this as an opportunity to have different discussions with their children, Emily, what do you say?
Yeah, well, I actually want to take sort of an ancillary point, which is that this is the landscape of Alvin Bragg's as DA in New York and Mayor Eric Adams, New York, and Biden's America, and here's why. Because taking a step back for a second, this perp has a history. He's a recidivist. He's one more recidivist out there. He's been cited criminally harassment for refusing to obey a court order, having him stay off the property in Staten Island. What happens? He shows up where there are kids. You know what those kids were doing during vacation? They were hiding in a room using various objects to barricade the door. The reason why will happen to him is because NYPD deployed undercover officers, as you said, Harris, into the crowd. But they would have been defunded, and they are. They're just undercover. So there's so many elements to this story where we are watching yet again jail. He needs a hobby and a structured day. He also needs incarceration. Those kids simply got a lesson in Democrats' America. That crime pays and nothing happens to you.
Yeah, and you know, Rob, just to come back to what you said, opinion about it, and a lot of people have their opinion about it, but what it does really come down to is now there's a situation where we need peace officers in the room over an issue about sexuality in front of 3-year-olds. Whatever theories there may be out there, the reality about what we're all saying is our own safety. And if they want to do this, there's got to be a more age-appropriate place for this to happen.
And I'll make the final point to that point, Harris, is that the answer to this stuff is not violence, it is shame. To shame the parents that are exposing their children to this, and shame the drag queens that are doing it.
We'll move on. More Outnumbered next.
SiriusXM, the home for the best in podcasts, including Literally with Rob Lowe.
Hey everybody, it's Rob Lowe here. Literally is really just an opportunity for me to connect with old friends, fellow actors, people that I admire. Hear a conversation. Assorted brat packers. We converse through every fork in the road, from deeply thoughtful to extremely random.
Literally with Rob Lowe is available now on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Still looking for that perfect gift? Untuckit is having a huge 25% site-wide and store-wide for a limited time only. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn on to keep them looking sharp and feeling comfortable. You can't go wrong with a soft flannels, wrinkle-free shirts, and coats. So don't miss your last chance to save 25% off right now at Untuckit.com. Nearest Untuckit store for a limited time only. Untuckit, shirts designed to be worn, untucked.
Body odor is the same no matter where it happens on our body. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the founder of Lumi, the whole body deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. You know how sometimes we get an odor after intimacy or a workout and our immediate thought is, I have vaginal odor? The reason we think that is because the feminine hygiene industry and even doctors have been is to blame for centuries. Just like we get odor in our underarms, we get odor other places too, and the vagina is not to blame. Lumi is clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on our pits, feet, and privates, and it continues working long after a shower with soap wears off. It's aluminum free and pH optimized to safely control odor in all the right places in all Lumi. There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 9000 and get an extra $5 off the Lumi Starter Pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and it ships free with code 9000. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 9000.
Be an investor, not a landlord. Real estate investments have consistently profitable real estate investments with overall returns of 10 to 16%. Hi, I'm Greg Hughes with Investment Company. You can invest in our fund or use a 1031 exchange to save thousands in taxes. And we will custom build you an investment package from our inventory of ready-made 1031 properties. You will be diversified across a portfolio of properties, and our investments are landlord hassles or expenses again. That's why we say be an investor. Time you can receive a 7% guaranteed cash-on-cash return for the first 12 months when you invest. PassiveReturns.com. That's guaranteedpassivereturns.com. Or call us at 888-343-9696. That's 888-343-9696.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of results. Invest wisely.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Of course you do. Sex releases endorphins, feel-good hormones that help to alleviate stress. And a happy sex life can deepen your feelings of happiness. Endorphins, less stress, more happiness. What's not to like? So for a better sex life, you gotta check out Roman. Roman is the digital health clinic for men. There are no waiting rooms and no hassle. Roman has genuine medication that helps you maintain a strong erection. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. And better yet, Roman sends everything right to your door with free shipping and in discreet packaging. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/better6. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/better6.
Last but not an amazing charity car show in Harrisburg, PA, hosted by the Lower Paxton Town. Children and families in need with an amazing toy and food drive. The Christmas spirit was so many people came out, even in the snow. It just showed the love that the community has for giving and for those who serve in uniform every day. The Street Speed 717 gang took it to a whole other level with the new C8 Z06 with exhaust, SVJ Lambo, and in-chain designs with their incredible wraps. Matt B. Heroes was there, and of course my 72 Mach 1 keeping us all warm. For more info to support, please go to pafop.org. Now, thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to DVR the show, and here's America Reports.
Shocking scenes at our southern border as a caravan with as many as 2,000 migrants poured into the El Paso region over the weekend. I'm John Roberts in Washington. Happy Monday, Sandra, as we start a new week.
And to you as well, John. Good to be with all.
Monday, Sandra, as we start a new week.
And to you as well, John. Good to be with all. That caravan, it is the largest group our team has witnessed since we began covering this crisis, and it comes just over a week before the expiration of Title 42.
Critics worried that the end of that policy could lead to an even bigger surge of illegal immigration across our southern border.
Bill Malugin is live at the border, Mission, Texas, for us at this hour. So, Bill, how many migrants have crossed in just the last 2 days?
16,000 of U.S. Border Patrol just reported an hour ago. 16,000 people have crossed in the last 48 hours. That is an average of 8,000 people every single day. And we'll show you what happened in El Paso last night. Take a look at this stunning footage. As you mentioned, this is the single biggest group we during our Fox News coverage of this border crisis. A massive caravan of up to 2,000 migrants crossing illegally into El Paso, Texas. Last night, local media reporting this may be the biggest mass crossing the city has seen in its history, at least in several decades. And you can see in that video just wave after wave of these migrants wading across the river, going onto the U.S. side, and then they line up and wait. And at times that line stretched really as far as the eye could see. It was chilly last night, so you can see on the U.S. side many of those migrants started campfires in an effort to stay warm. But CBP sources tell us they are overrun. El Paso sector, more than 2,400 illegal crossings in the last 24 hours. We're hearing they currently have well over 5,000 sector right now, and as a result,